Hola, bienvenidos a todos a mi canal, Spanish Blueprints. My name is Joshua, and this channel is dedicated to guiding you during your Spanish learning journey. In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience and the value of the platform Italki. And the big reason for this is because I love to share different language learning resources. Because when I started to learn Spanish on my own, after taking formal classes, I had no idea what was available to me. So I had to do a lot of research on my own to figure out what were the different methods to study Spanish other than classes and going abroad and things like that. And that's when I stumbled across Italki in 2020. And let me know in the comment section below if you have ever used Italki before. Just so you know, this video is not sponsored by Italki. On the other hand, I do have a referral link in the description box below. And if you use that to make a purchase, then I would just receive a small commission. Now, Italki is a platform that hosts over 20,000 language teachers from all over the world, and they also have over 150 languages available to learn. Now, each language teacher has a profile that has a lot of information about them and what they do. So they're going to have a bio, they're going to have their specialization, what their goals are when they're teaching, so you'll be able to get a feel of what their teaching style is. Because there's two different types of language teachers on this platform. There are community tutors, and then there's also professional teachers. Now, a professional teacher on Italki would be someone who has a lot of experience and they have certifications. Then you have community tutors who might not have all those certifications, but they could be a native speaker in that language that you are trying to learn, or they can be someone who has a very advanced level of that language. Now, depending on which type of teacher you select is all gonna be up to you, and that's based off your preferences. Before I dive a little bit deeper into my experience, I just wanna talk about the value in this platform itself and what it means to me. I think it's something that has reduced the barrier to education as a whole and not just to language learning. Because before finding this platform, I used to think very rigidly, and I think a lot of other people have had this mentality as well, where you think that you could only learn a new skill or learn a new language if you were to go to college. If you go to a community college, have to spend a whole bunch of money and take a course through there. There was no other option, or maybe study abroad, or somehow figure out how to self-study. So when I initially joined Italki back in 2020, I didn't have too many expectations and I didn't know really how the classes were going to be, but I ended up having 3 different community tutors who I had conversations with in Spanish. The first one was from Mexico, the second one was from Venezuela, and the third one was from Colombia. So this experience was very valuable to me because I was able to have conversations in Spanish, which I wasn't really used to because I was mostly doing the whole textbook phase of just kind of studying grammar and reading a lot instead of speaking. So these lessons that I had with these teachers, they were just in a conversational setting to be able to practice my speaking skills. So there wasn't like a course or anything like that that they had for me. I just had those few Italki lessons, then I stopped taking them because I just kind of shifted my focus a little bit in my studies until this year. And the main reason why I came back to Italki last month was because of my goals. My overall goal for this year for Spanish was to increase my speaking skills and my pronunciation, because although I had a lot of conversations with Spanish speakers all of last year, and I've had constant communication with Spanish speakers on the daily, I did not care about accuracy whatsoever. Yo estaba hablando como un loco, and I'm happy that I made the decision to return back to Italki because now I have a more structured study schedule. I have 30 minutes set aside every single week. And I know for sure that I'm not going to procrastinate because I have to make these classes, because now I know for sure that I have someone that I'm going to be able to speak with who's going to be able to explain what I'm doing incorrectly, which would be a lot harder to do on my own because I can't always catch my own mistakes. And the really funny thing about taking these lessons again is that I thought I was going to crush it. I was going to be speaking just really fluently, never going to have any pauses. I was never going to make a mistake. And yeah, reality hit me pretty good. So that's when I realized that I needed to decrease my pride just a little bit, and that I did not know everything, and that there was a lot of room for improvement. Not just with my pronunciation, just about culture in general, because she's from Mexico, so she teaches me a lot about Mexican slang and about where she lives. So she usually just starts off the lessons with ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo fue tu fin de semana? How are you doing? How was your weekend? And then from there, we kind of just progress with that same topic of whatever I just said. So like recently we just talked about me when I went snowboarding. So we just had a conversation about that basically the whole time. And these lessons go extremely fast. Like when the 30 minutes is up, I'm just like, wow, like I want to talk more. I really like this teacher because she also writes down a lot of the words that I don't know or that I have trouble with. So we do our lessons through Skype. So she just types in exactly the words that I'm messing up on and other words that she thinks that are important for me to know. So that's just one type of lesson that you can have in Italki, where you're just having a conversation like you are talking with your friend, and they're helping you along the way, and they can ask you questions and things like that. But all it depends on what you want. So at the beginning of a lesson, you can say, oh, let's talk about this topic, or I want to focus on maybe talking in the future or something like that. So you can really make it personalized and direct the conversation as well. Now, I just started French, and my current teacher speaks French, English, Portuguese, Japanese, and Spanish. This is an extremely new experience for me because I'm learning French from scratch versus Spanish, where I already had all the base knowledge, so I was able to have conversations. Now I don't know anything in French at all. I didn't have too many expectations before having these French lessons, and I wasn't really coming with a plan either. I was going to let the teacher do whatever she wanted to do. And I was pleasantly surprised because my French teacher, she already has her own structured lesson of what we're going to do every single week. So I just been having 30-minute lessons with my French teacher once a week. So going through her structured lessons, we first started with introductions and her asking me questions, and then me trying to respond to her, going through the different pronunciations of different sentences, and also going through some different grammar structures as well. And then now we're kind of getting more into the verbs. And then she also had a Google Doc for me that had a whole bunch of resources for French, a lot of YouTube videos and different activities as well for me to practice in between our lessons. And then also something really interesting is that she speaks to me in Spanish sometimes because she likes to connect Spanish to French because there's a lot of similarities between the two languages. Overall, I love Italki as a platform. As I was saying beforehand, I think it is really groundbreaking when it comes to the educational space and making it a lot easier to access education and acquire a new language. I would recommend this platform for literally anyone. It does not matter what your proficiency level is. You can always increase your pronunciation or increase your listening comprehension and learn about a new country, listen to a new accent. Because when it comes to language learning, you're just not gonna know every little thing. So there's always something to learn. Thank you all for watching this video. If you found value in it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below about Italki in general or about my experience. I'll see you in the next video.